Hey folks, what's up? Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Yeah, it's me. I'm back. I was gone for a while, but I'm back. That's right. I'm back. The shit has gone down. The shit has gone down, folks. Yeah, I had a wow, man. So many things have happened since the last episode. It's hard to know where to start. But I guess I'll go ahead and start right here. And I'm going to start here every week. I'm going to try to start here every week from now on in. And I want to start with a mental health check. What's going on, folks? I want you to ask yourselves, what is going on with your mental health right now? What's happening with it? Do you know? Do you feel it? I mean, it is something that do you even think about? I think that it's coming to time that we all start thinking about our mental health. You know, I had a reality check while I was gone, and I'm not going to talk about it now. I might talk about it a little bit in later on in the podcast, but it's something that more and more people that I come across are suffering from, and a lot of people are suffering from mental health issues needlessly, for one, and also without really knowing that they're suffering from these issues, for two. Some people, and well, I know this to be true, some people know they suffer from these issues, but I guess they choose to ignore it or not do anything about it altogether or not acknowledge it, which I think is wrong. So that's one thing I think I'm going to start leading off with whenever I do my podcast. So I just want everybody to just take a couple of seconds, man. Just take a couple of seconds and ask yourself, how is my mental health? Do I care about my mental health? Just take a couple of minutes. Every day I would. Since I've been gone, that's one of the things that I have been forced to kind of, check myself with is, what is the state of my mental health every day? Because it can change just like that. So, well, I want to move right along. I want to give some shout outs to, I can't really be specific. I could, but it would take a long time. So I'm just going to shout out everybody who actually showed me love and support over these past couple of weeks. These past, 2-3 weeks that I've been gone. I guess I've been gone 3 weeks now. I've had some issues in my family. I've had some issues with myself, some good and some positive. Let me say this. Everything that has happened in my life has really turned out to be a positive, has really turned out on a positive note. And I do know that, hard times are ahead, but, before, where I was not optimistic, or I was, I just didn't feel like anything was going to change, I do feel optimistic now. I feel like things are actually coming clear. I have, I've started therapy. So that's one thing, I wanted to talk to everybody about. But since I've started therapy, it's kind of cool. If there's things that have been trapped inside for so long that I just forgot about. Now that they're out, there are bad memories, but also there's a lot of good memories that I've forgotten because I've, just held it back for so long, So in that respect, it was kind of like, oh wow, it helped me remember people and situations, and it just helped me remember some good things about myself and my life. And I will say that going to therapy has definitely been a positive for me, and I'm excited to go every week, because it's become more of a new learning about myself and who I actually am and what I'm actually capable of. So, I want to shout out to the people who checked on me, and just and held it down for me. I really do. My wife and my mother especially. I mean, both of them. My mother's like the mafia. She's been, getting things for me with a wink and a smile lately, and just kind of been coming through for me. And, I love you, mother, for that. That's really dope to me. So moving right along, I'm gonna move on to the this week's Dope Shit Award. And some of you who are listening to my podcast, especially if you know me, you will know who this gentleman is. I don't expect the rest of you to, but I wish that you could have. This week's Dope Shit Award goes to Shamari Bowden. And Shamari Bowden was my brother-in-law. And this past week, we laid him to rest. He is no longer suffering from his lifelong battle with sickle cell anemia. So I want to shout Shamari out. I want to give him this week's Dope Shit Award because, like I said, everybody should have known him. He was such a class act. What a real dude he was. You could search you could search as far as you wanted to try to find something negative or bad to say about him. Me and my sister were talking. You can't find anything. He was just a good guy. He was just a good person. And even though in his condition, he managed to put up a smile every day. He managed to have an upbeat attitude every day. He touched a lot of people. He was full of energy, full of life, full of love. He will be greatly missed, greatly missed, greatly missed. What a good brother he was. He was a good brother-in-law also. So rest in power, my brother. Rest in heaven. I love you. And, I'm glad that you're reunited with your mother. You know what I'm saying? So, we gonna hold it down for you. We got the rest of the fam down here. We gonna hold it down for you, brother. So rest in heaven. All right. I'm gonna take a couple of minutes, and when I come back, we're gonna get into the earbuds. You are listening to the Darren Harris Podcast.
Look for Starbucks coffee in a grocery store near you, then sit back and enjoy the exceptional taste of Starbucks at home.
Hey folks, what's happening? Welcome back to the podcast. It's your boy D. It is your boy D. It's your boy D. So, what am I listening to? This week on earbuds, I am listening to Beyonce. That's right. I've been listening to some Beyonce lately. I mean, I can't really call any of the songs, but I can name the album Renaissance, her new joint, and I will tell you, I mean, rarely will you catch me listening to R&B. Not that I don't like it. I'm just a really heavy hip hop head. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I would prefer to listen to hip hop pretty much than anything else. So rarely will you catch me listening to some R&B unless it's on the radio or, unless my wife comes and says, hey, listen to this. It's hip hop for me. So, but she actually asked me this week to give Beyonce's album a listen. And man, blew me away. I got to just say, Beyonce, I mean, I'll tell you what, there's a lot of great, female vocalists out there, and they stand for such, they stand for good messages, but Beyonce is just so powerful. She is a powerful lady. She is powerful. You know what I'm saying? Just real and felt, and also not for nothing, she keeps, as she ages, and aging gracefully she is, as she ages, she still maintains a solid foothold on today's youth or today's. She is. Everybody playing Beyonce, man. Psh, everybody playing Beyonce, like for real. She everywhere, and was before that. So I just want to say, if you can, give it a listen. It's called Renaissance. Like I said, I can't name any songs for you, but she got a lot of. She did what Drake did a little bit. She has some up-tempo music, that could be really easily mixed into house remixes. So in that realm, she has some I think she's wanting some dance music, which is cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm with that. But she threw that Beyonce on it. She put that Beyonce right on it. And she gets a solid A+ in my book for her album Renaissance. So today's earbuds is Beyonce Knowles or Beyonce Carter. I'm not sure what it is. Beyonce Knowles Carter, Beyonce Carter Knowles. I don't know. Jay-Z's wife. So speaking of Jay-Z and his wife, moving right along to strain of the week. I'm gonna get right into it. 99 Problems is the strain, and one of the things that happened to me, I had come up here a few weeks ago, as my last episode was, what do we do now? We just bought an RV. That's right, we have just bought an RV, and we bought this RV, and we didn't know much about it. We bought it kind of quickly, kind of impulsively, and we got extremely blessed with it. We lucked out. I think it was the man upstairs himself who just was like, he touched us and touched this RV and said, "This is for y'all," and put us in this RV. So we came up and we parked it at a campground up here in North Florida. Less than a mile from my mother's, and I think it was divine intervention again that we were this close to my mother. So while I was here, the weekend that I was here, while we were here, I had a friend from high school who had to move out of her place, and she was unable to have anybody help her move out of her place. So she asked me if I would help her move, and she paid me. She paid me pretty well, and I thought that was great, and shout out to her for that. But man, as one of the payments, we sat down, and she had rolled one spliff of this 99 Problems, and man, I'll tell you what, my back was hurting after moving her all day. And that was no problem after that. After I had no problems with my back after the 99 Problems. I moved her. It was 12 hours. It was 12 hours. It was from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. It was 12 hours. I busted my ass. I moved all her shit. I moved her whole fucking life. As a matter of fact, I did not feel a fucking thing. I will say that. The 99 Problems, man, I'm going to tell you what. Man, first of all, I did a little bit of research. It is a cross between White 99 and Stardog, which were already two of my strains of the week, which I loved both of them. It's a hybrid, of course. It is a sativa heavy hybrid, though. I really like that because, like I said, it was, man, I didn't feel my back. I didn't feel my back. It uplifted me some. It made me, after moving all day, and I was pleasantly surprised because I was kind of pissed off after I was moving, and after moving, I was pissed. But then, I got home and she gave me a little bit to take home, and I was no longer pissed. I did not feel those those feelings any longer after the 90. Because I'll tell you what, I didn't have no fucking problems. I didn't have no problems. I had no problems. None. No problems. So this week's strain of the week. Oh, who's somebody something? Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Oh, the Soul Brother. That's right. Listen to my man Soul Brother Kevin. He got a podcast out too. Soul Brother K. He said Soul Brother Kevin is dead though. So I hope they didn't kill off the Soul Brother. But yeah, strain of the week, 99 problems. If you can come across it, from what I understand, it's fairly popular. So if you can come across it, dope. If not, I feel sorry for you. I'm going to take a quick fast break. When I come back, we're going to get into what's poppin'. You are listening to the Darren Harris Podcast, baby. Hey folks, today's program is being brought to you by Your Pleasures Erotic Health and Wellness Boutique. Your Pleasures has a wide variety of adult educational materials, top-notch adult novelties and clothing, real-world dating and relationship advice, and more. Pleasures, that's Your Pleasures, not only focuses on erotic pleasure and satisfaction, we aim to educate people about the health and wellness benefits of intimacy. We are here to prove that sexuality is not naughty, it's necessary. So stop by Your Pleasures, that's ur-pleasures.com, and see for yourself. That's yourpleasures.com. Hey folks, what's up? Welcome back to the podcast. What's poppin'? All right. A lot of shit was popping. A lot of shit has been popping. Like I said, as you know, I've moved into an RV full time with my wife and my 3 dogs. So I moved my friend, but I had an issue with some stress that I was under for a long time. It's been for a long time, a long time, and it finally came to a head. And as it came to a head, something with me was fractured, and I was sent to, well, actually, I wasn't sent. I sent myself voluntarily to check myself into a psychiatric hospital for a brief stay to get some evaluation and also to get some guidance and to kind of help me find myself and to get rid of some demons that have been, living with me for, years. And, I'll say it was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in my life. And it was I would do it again tomorrow I would do it again. Because it needed to happen. It needed to happen because there were things that I needed to get off my chest, needed to get off my plate, needed to stop being angry about. There were things that I needed to forgive and let go. A few things that were very close to me. I don't necessarily want to get into it. It does involve my children, and I'll leave it at that. But there were things I was having to deal with. So I had a mental breakdown, and while I was in there, I met a few people. I met some people, and I'll just use their first name. I met a guy named David, and David and I forgot the guy who was my roommate, but there was 3 people that they were actively, I'm not sure what the treatment was called, but they likened it to having their brains shocked. And they were not all there. But I could see where they were. They were having some really severe issues. And this was their treatment. And Marvin, that was his name. That was my roommate. And those guys had some issues, man. And my heart goes out to them and their families because, they have been scarred, so deeply by society and have been kicked and left out and forgotten about and abused and neglected, and it's gotten worse until, you know, they're in this hospital, and I can't really say when they're going to get out. You know, I know they didn't check themselves in. They were checked in. I checked myself in. I was one of two people. Only one other person actually checked themselves in. The other people were there because they had to be. And it was a little morbid. It was a little depressing for a time. But even because everybody in there was suffering from a level, you know, from a vein of what I'm suffering, which was depression and anxiety, and some other people with some other more heavy issues than mine. You know, all of us were on medication, you know, which I am still taking. You know, that everybody knows that I was taking bupropion for depression and anxiety, and they have increased the dose. So take a larger dose of what it was I was taking before. And to be honest, yes, I have noticed some changes yet again, and the changes do help. They help me to slow it down a little bit. They help me to dial it back just a little bit. And, you know, it feels good to almost have a little bit of control over my life and my thoughts. So I don't want this to be a permanent thing, because I am very particular about what I put in my body. So, you know, taking medicine on a long term, that's not really an option for me. I really don't. I'm really not digging that. So gonna leave that to right now. But right now, you know, I think it's a good addition, because it's helping me to focus on things I need to focus on. So it is a good thing. So, but being in this facility, you know, it put my perspective on mental health. It focused me more on actual mental health, and not only, I mean, my mental health, but everybody's mental health in general, because you can see it in everybody that you know, man. There's some sort of issue. And I know this is probably, I mean, it's new to me, man. You know, so many people portray to be these normal people, but man, they're not. You know, there's issues, there's pain, there's trauma, there's hurt. For a lot of people, most people. There's a book that I was given while I was in there called Codependent No More. And man, excellent book. If I think everybody should read it. A lot of people have already read it. It's an old book. But if you've read it, read it again. And if you've never read it, pick it up and read it. It's called Codependent No More. It'll help you see things that you were not privy to. It'll help you see things that you think that you know, but really you don't. It'll help you understand some of the way that you are, why you are the way that you are. And that's what it did for me. So it definitely worked for me. You know, I'm almost through it. I'm at the end of it. I still have a couple of chapters to go, but I don't read like that either. I'm not a big, you know, pick up a book and read. Let's read this book. I don't read these books. I watch the movie. I skim. I look at the pictures. But this book, I pumped the brakes a minute, and I sat down and read it. You know, I read it because I needed to know about it. I needed to know what it had to do with me, because it was given to me by one of the peer specialists, which is a person that was in recovery but now volunteers their time in the facility that I was in. And, you know, shout out to those people too, man, because, you know, that's great what they do. You know, I actually asked, you know, how could I be involved in that, because it is so good what they do. You know, it's so good what they do. I mean, it brings it from a therapist looking at a patient to a person that is going through what you're going through, and from their standpoint and from their perspective, and that helps people to relate. That helps people to connect and helps them to realize that they're not alone. Because so many people who suffer from conditions like this feel that they are alone and no one can hear them, and they're out there on this limb by themselves, and it's not true. There's a lot of support, there's a lot of love, there's a lot of resources that are out there to help, people like myself and anybody who may be suffering from any kind of mental disorder. There are these resources. Gotta want to get them, though. Gotta want to get them. Period. So that's what I have been going through. I was wanting this very next episode to be about, first week RV living, but in order for me to do that, I had to let everybody know why I was gone for so long. So I am back now, and the Darren Harris podcast train has picked up a little bit of steam and a little bit of purpose, and I'm about to lay it out here for everybody. So, I hope you join me. I hope you stay with me. I hope you tell a friend and share it. Somebody who needs to hear it. Listen to it over and over again. Start your own. Because for me, this has become more talk therapy for myself than for anybody else, really. Just for me to get out the things that I need to get out and off my chest. And for a minute, I was, kind of straying off the path and doing podcasts about this and that. But I did forget that it is really about, me and the human experience. I don't want to be arrogant, but it is about me and how I negotiate and navigate things. So it may not be for everybody, and I completely understand. And I hold no malice towards you. I'm just not your cup of tea. And to each their own. But if I am, like I said, share it with your friends. Listen to it. Hit me on my DMs. Follow me on social media. Let me know how you feel. Let me know what you're feeling when you're feeling it. We could talk about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm good to talk to. I'm good to listen. Because I'm curious like you. So don't be afraid. If you feel like you ain't got nobody, drop me a DM, and I'll respond to you. I promise. I know I say it every week. But don't feel like you're alone out here, okay? So I'm going to switch gears a little bit, though, and talk about what happened thereafter. So after I got out of the hospital, my wife came and picked me up. She surprised me at the hospital. My mother was great. We went and ate, some food afterwards. It was wonderful because the food in the hospital was terrible. But she came and picked me up, and then the heavy realization that we had to pack our whole fucking apartment and move hit me. So I didn't really have an opportunity to really reflect until I got to my current position where I'm at right now. But before that, we had to go back down to the house, and man, you'd be surprised at the shit that you accumulate that fits in a 1-bedroom apartment. We have stuff in 2 different storage facilities, which is a no. So we're working to get our stuff consolidated and closer to us where we are, so that maybe we can, someday soon sell it off, because that's what we're doing. We're cleansing our lives. We're getting rid of everything. And that is why we have moved full time into a Class A RV. And man, let me tell you, once we moved our place, it was perilous. It was down to the last minute. It was all the way down to the last minute. But, my mother got us some movers, which was great. She came through in the clutch. You know what I'm saying? Mother is straight clutch. I'm going to tell you what, if we was playing basketball, my mother would be Ray Allen, just straight up clutch. You know what I'm saying? She would be on some clutch, maybe even Steph Curry. My mom was being on some straight up Steph Curry. Clutch. You know, gonna do it. Clutch. Thanks, mother. On some clutch. But she got us some movers. They got us moved into the storage facility with no issue whatsoever. It was dope. And then we drove up to where we had parked the RV, which was in a campground here in North Florida. We are in Lake City, Florida, at a campground. Shout out to Casey Jones Campground. We are, wow. We have broke it all the way down. We have gone from a, high-rise or mid-rise loft apartment overlooking the Gulf of Mexico in Florida to it's got to be about 200 square feet, maybe 250 square feet, something like that. Class A motorhome with our, Great Dane. Weighs exactly what I do, which is 178 pounds. So it's like having another person living here. And then we have two other dogs, smaller ones though, and my wife and I. And my mother is less than a mile down the street for her support. I've started therapy in this area, so that's one of the reasons that we are here, which is, like I said before, thank goodness that we were here in this proximity to my mother, because she has, like I said, been clutch with it. But I do know a lot of people in this town, and it really is the absolute straight up slowdown. It is the slow down. Slow it down. Slow it down. So I've been in the campground. This is day number... What day is this, babe?
8.
This ain't day 8. Come on, girl. This is day 6 or something like that. I think it's day 6. Yeah, because we moved. You was here to work. Yeah, you was here to work. So, yeah, this is day number 6. Tomorrow will be one official week as full-time RV dwellers or nomads. And people have asked us, everybody that we've told, wow, man, that's great, man. Oh, my God, we want to do that, man. We just mustering up the strength to try to get it together. And I'll tell you what, it ain't for everybody. It's not going to be for everybody. There are some things to RVing that some people ain't going to want to do. Like the black tank is one of them things right there. But it's something that's got to be done. Oh, yeah, the air conditioner just kicked off. So, yeah, it's going to be considerable. Like I said, this is my home. So my podcast is being done right now from the passenger seat in my RV. And out looking at our campground. I got a good. It's a pretty decent campground. A family friend, a friend of mine from a long time ago, owned this campground. Him and his family, they own this campground. So I have some history here, and that's one of the reasons I came here first, because I actually have a little bit of history here, and I kind of know the area a little bit, know the lay of the land. And it's gotten a little bit bigger, but it's pretty much the same kind of campground, nice people. There's a lot of full-timers that live here. There's only a few people that kind of come through here to actually camp. There's a lot of people who come and stay overnight. They stay overnight, they pack up, and they leave the next morning. And so far, that's what it's been. There's been a few people that have been here for like a week, and then they leave. We've talked to a few people, and, they're just passing through, or, wanting to see Florida a little bit, and, they live other places. Lay down, Pie. So it's been one of those things. It's been one of those positive so far experiences. There's a lot of people that live here full time, like I said. Families, people with kids, and this is where they call home. They get mail here, the bus stops and lets them off and picks them up here. And it's just like any other neighborhood full of people. There's some people who got some laid out ones, some nice ones. And then there's some people who, like I said, they have some older things, and they've been here for years and years and years. You can tell you stories for years and years and years. Yeah, there's the Harley guy pulling out. If you can hear it, I don't know if you can, but yeah, the Harley guy got a guy right across the way, heavily into politics. I don't know. I'm thinking about having him on as a guest because he had some pretty positive things. Well, some pretty intriguing things to say about politics, but who knows? But for the most part, the people here are nice. The town is small. There's 1, 2, 3 grocery stores. I think 4 grocery stores. That's it. And there's one of every fast food entity, with the exception of like McDonald's and Burger King and Wendy's or something like that. Not Papa John's, but Little Caesars. But there's not a lot to it. The people are humble here. They work hard for a living. They go to church. They're God-fearing people. Salt of the earth. So I'm very thankful that our very first week of RV living has gone pretty well. We've already dumped the black tank twice. But it's going well. And people ask me, they say, D, how is it? Like I was saying before, everybody's like, and I'll tell you what, we should have did this a long time ago. We should have did it a long time ago. We should have did it a long time ago. Let me say it one more time. We should have did this shit a long time ago. And I'm going to tell you why. Because A, we have more than cut our rent or our cost to live in half already. There's some catching up to do. We definitely have to catch up. But already, and it's the ability to travel. The ability to say, we're tired of this place. Let's go someplace else. Let's experience someplace else. Let's go learn some new things from some new people. It's the experience, the life experience that we gain. See our country. And the other 2 countries, if we can. I don't know about Mexico, though. Mexico kind of scares me. People say I've seen YouTube where people are like, oh, yeah, we RV'd through Mexico. I don't know about that, man. That seems a little dodgy to me because of the cartels. And I don't want to be moseying into nobody's territory. I don't need nobody on the stick up for me and my RV. I don't need none of that. I don't need to be stranded in Mexico. I don't need none of that. You could keep your Corona. I don't need your Chicle. You could keep it. I don't need it right now until maybe we can caravan with some people, so there's a little bit more safety because, Mexico sometimes just strikes me as a lawless place. I might be wrong. But, it seems like the cartels, own pretty much everything down there. So, I ain't really fucking with Mexico like that right now. But, maybe Canada, a little bit. But, we live in a beautiful country here anyway. So, for the time being, I think I'm okay with what we got here because there's so much to see. There's so much to do here in this country. So, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really, really, really looking forward to seeing what is. Because I've already seen a lot. My father used to take us camping in Colorado when we were kids, but, I've seen a few things. I've been to the mountains of North Carolina, but there are so many other things I'd like to see. I've never been to Las Vegas. I want to go hang out and, see the Grand Canyon. I've seen pieces of it, but I want to see other pieces of it. Mount Rushmore and all this craziness. I want to see what our country, I want to see our beautiful country is really what I'd like to do in this RV. I want to learn things about my country is what I really would like to do. I'd like to, share it with my wife and my children, so that they too can, learn to love this country because let's not get it twisted. America, we got a lot of fucked up issues. There's a lot of racism here, classism, sexism. We full of isms here in America. That's what we do here is isms. But I'll say this. It's a beautiful place, man. I wouldn't want to be no place else than the country I live in. You know what I'm saying? Because there is a lot to offer here. And Americans are good people. We We just got some fucked up beliefs sometimes. And we're a little arrogant and entitled. We need to come down off of that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Americans are douchebags. Let me stop. But you know what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm saying? I just want everybody to understand that, you know, there was something. This land is your land. This land is my land. You know, if really it belongs to the Native Americans, but you know, I just want people to understand that we're all the same people, man. You know, we are all the same people. We get to be individuals though, but we are all the same. We all go through the same things that hurt us, you know, that make us happy, that help us to thrive. We all feel the same emotions. We are all the same. We are all the same. So, and that's one thing that this week's episode, you know, from being in the hospital to moving into this RV park has made me realize is that everyone is the same. We're the same people, man. And the only thing I ever wanted is for everybody to realize that we're all the same. You hurt just like I hurt. You punch me in the mouth just like I punch you in the mouth. Guess what color we bleed? The same. We know that. We're the same people. No reason for you to be upset with me. No reason for me to be upset with you. You know, I want some of the violence to stop. You know, New York's starting to pick it up a little bit. Chicago need to calm it on down. You know, there's, you know, people snatching kids and, you know, killing elderly people. And come on, y'all. We need to get it together. Come on, America. We looking crazy. You know what I'm saying? So, hopefully, you know, I can raise some awareness, you know, to this, you know, to both, man. You know what I mean? To mental health issues and also RV living. How about that? Combine the two. Because I really kind of did it for that as well. Because, you know, it's peaceful to me. You know, and that's what I need in my life right now is a little bit of peace. And like I said, we should have did this years ago. I'm so thankful. You know, I'm thankful to my wife. I'm thankful to my mother. I'm thankful to the Lord above. You know, I'm thankful to my father for showing me this when I was a child, when I was young. I'm thankful, you know, because now, you know, I get to make, you know, memories that last forever with my wife, my mother, my kids, my friends, my family. So, yeah, so I think that's what's popping this week on the Darren Harris podcast. I hope that it helped you. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was entertaining. And I'm going to take a quick, fast break. And when I come back, relationship goals. It's the Darren Harris podcast.
Dawn Power Wash Dish Spray. Why let those dishes pile up? Dawn Dish Spray cleans them super fast. Just spray, wipe the rinse. Baby's taking a nap. Clean those bottles in a snap. Just spray, wipe the rinse. Dawn Dish Spray, it's a spray for your dishes. Smoothie mess in a blender. Clean it easy, clean it better. Just spray, wipe the rinse. Dawn Power Wash Dish Spray. How's it work again? Just spray, wipe the rinse.
Hey folks, what's up? Welcome back to the podcast. I'm back. That's right, I'm back. I was gone for 3 weeks, but now I'm back because a lot of shit happened. If you're just tuning in and you missed it, go back and listen to the podcast and I'll fill you in. But welcome to, this is relationship goals this week. And I usually have a goal. You know, I usually have a goal this week. And this week I don't have a goal this week. You know, I don't have a real clear definitive goal this week. But this week I want to show gratitude. I just want to show gratitude, and not just for the relationship that I have with my wife, because after all, this is relationship goals. It's all relationships, but the relationship with not only my wife, but my mother and my siblings and the rest of my family. And like I said, this week is more about reflection and gratitude for my family and who they are and what they have taught me and what we have been through and what we have made it through. The resilience of my family is what this week's relationship goal is about, is to sit back and reflect on that fortitude that my friends and my family and all the relationships that I've forged. You know, I just want to be thankful. You know, I want to put it into perspective. I want to make sure to myself that it means something. I just don't want to be, yeah, thanks, and just forget about it. And, you know, then now I'm going to Target, and now I'm over here at Walmart picking up a bottle of water and so on and so forth. Now I want to give it more attention than that. I want to make sure that I give it more attention than that. You know, to go out and reflect on all the good things that all the people in my life have done for me. Even the bad people. Some bad people do good shit for you. They train your brain on different to help you overcome things. You know what I'm saying? So this week's relationship goals is about showing people that are close to me the gratitude that I have for them. From my mother to from my wife, my mother, my wife, you know, those top two right now, to my aunties and my kids and my sisters and my cousins and even the ones I don't talk to. And not for nothing, the relationships that I'm forming with the people that listen to my podcast, I want to show gratitude to you folks and tell you thank you so much, because it really does help me. And for that, I appreciate you. So I think that is going to do it for this week's episode of the Deron Harris podcast. Yeah. Episode 20. Here we are. I'm back. Listen, if you need some help, if you're looking for some help and you don't have insurance, or, you know, I mean, you can always go to the hospital and lie about your Social Security. No. Or you can call TalkSpace, or, you know, download the TalkSpace app, or you can get on, there's another one called BetterHelp. You can look into those also. And if you want some more information about full-time RV living, you can drop a couple of questions if you want in my DM, and I will do my best, like I said, to answer you back. And maybe I'll see you out here on the road. We actually had a neighbor that was inspired by us. The guy who lived across the hall from us, they just took possession of their RV on Saturday. So I'm looking forward to calling Brian and asking him how it's been going for them. So, all right, folks. I want to tell you thank you very much for tuning in. I'd like to thank you, for the listener, for tuning in. I want to thank my wife and my mother. Stop. I want to thank my wife and my mother for the support that they've given me. I'd like to thank my best friend Jesse Yandel and my producer Gentry Thomas for producing my podcast and giving me this forum to bring to you. I could not have done it without you. I love you all very much. And until next time, until the meantime, well, what it is in the meantime and in the between time. I don't know how it goes. I forgot how it goes. I used to know. I don't know. Forget about it. Anyway, thanks for tuning in to the Deron Harris podcast. Love you all, folks. Talk to you next week. Peace.